There we are, round 7 of World EX, and we are flying over the world-famous and historic circuit of Monza in Italy. There you can see Nyanko Esports drivers Nico Müller and Freddy Oxka doing some laps around the track, which lies in the northeast of beautiful Milan in Italy. And here are the already qualified cars in the super final. It's Volta, it's Danish Dynamite. Then we go with Vero 88, Steve Rellin for BS Plus competition. The Vero 8 already also qualified for the super final, and Stögu from Nyanko Esports. So we have many new faces tonight at the spotter guide, like Tamia Benchik for RIG, the second woman on the grid next to Weizke Fisser, Julian Ammann, who will drive the esports art car for Nyanko. And here you can see Thomas Vogt dancing next to me in front of the team space from Nyanko Esports. And there you can see the both art cars. And there we are. Hello, Martin. Welcome back to World EX.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a tiny little bit late, but I'm here. I'm really looking forward to a wonderful race in Monza, in Italy. Yeah. The very, very traditional racetrack with names like Variante Ascari. Come on, pizza, spaghetti,
macaroni. Yeah. So last time we had a very, very bumpy, crashy race. So we had a lot of discussions. We had lots of drama. So interesting how it will be today.
Yeah, I guess it will be very interesting due to the fact that we have the result of the qualifying. Lasse Sørensen is the fastest one, with Devin Braune in second, Julian Ammann from Switzerland,
the newcomer,
this evening in third, Martin Stefanko on the fourth position, well-known name, even Weizke Fisser is a well-known name, Fadi Oikster, already qualified for the huge final, is on sixth, Nico Müller, even also from Switzerland, sixth, seventh position, Nicolas Hillebrand, Alan Terzic and Tamia Benchik.
I said she won't escape the top 10 today. So cool. Excited about how she will perform today. But yeah, as we said before, Nyanko Esports is presenting the race today. So let's have a ride together with Nico Müller around the iconic track of Monza. Here we go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're exiting the pit lane here at the Autodromo di Monza, the high-speed circuit here close to Milano, in northern Italy. A track with loads of history, one of the traditional racetracks here in Europe, and very, very exciting one, especially in the EX0, because of its extreme top speeds. Here on the main straight and also approaching the second chicane here, way beyond 300 kilometers per hour. So it's going to be exciting in a qualifying lap, but even more so in the race when slipstream comes into play. So we're warming up here for a push lap, going through the Lesmo section. Beautiful corners. They look pretty simple from the outside, but they have a lot of flow to themselves, just as the next corner that is coming up. The Ascari, so making sure the tires are kind of in the temperature window we want to have them as we head towards Parabolica and launch our timed lap. And I'll take you on a full lap of Monza in our beautiful Nyanko EX0, nicknamed Stögu, after one of my favorite mountains in our home region. So here we go, down the main straight. Accelerating up, already at the finish line, we're above 310 kph. So here, very important to hit the brake point. It's just before 150 meters. Downshift to first gear, into that first chicane, quick direction change, and then hard on the throttle, using the four-wheel drive. Again, accelerating up to way past 300 kilometers an hour, going through Curva Grande, this flat-out right-hander. And then into the brakes hard again at about 150 meters before the second chicane. This one is a bit quicker than the first. Again, important to get a good exit on the run to the first of the Lesmos. This one is a pretty long corner, you have to keep the minimum high, and then in the second one here, through the compression early on power to get a good run out onto this straightaway here. That brings you towards the Ascari chicane. Probably the most technical part of this lap. Again, around 150 meters onto the brakes, trying to hit the apex, and then through this right and left combination, you're playing with the throttle. It's not flat out in this corner, in this car, at least for me. So, one more corner to go. Parabolica up next. Here, late on the brakes, just about at 100 meters. And try and carry the speed through this long right-hander. Tires are screaming for help. And then it's the last sprint to the finish line. And we've completed a lap around Monza.
It's really unbelievable. Think about the fact, every lap they do, they have several times more than 300 kilometers on the...
Yeah, it's
really
cool.
Absolutely,
it's really cool, and I like Nico. He has great presenting skills. I think I could listening to him all day long.
And I like this accent, this Swiss accent in English.
Yeah, but it's so like it's adorable. I like that. So, as we watched him before, let's hear about a little bit more. Let's hear about him a little bit more, and the team and the background of Nyanko Esports.
The idea of starting Nyanko came up as I, myself really enjoyed sim racing, and then as World EX developed and started to appear, let's say, I really wanted to compete in it as a team. So we needed some sort of foundation, some sort of structure to be able to be part of this awesome championship. And then together with Thomas, our main esports racer, we saw the potential also within Switzerland to be one of the main teams of our country and compete in all those national championships out there and build ourselves a name in that scene. And that's why we wanted to go for it. Nyanko stands for Nico and Company, so one of them is me, obviously. Then there's Patrick Niederhauser, one of my good friends and also a professional racing driver who is passionate for esports. And By the Way Communications, that's our agency that is supporting us and standing with us since day one. And we also have Racing Fuel Simulators, Swiss-based and Swiss-produced product, an actual simulator that has been developed here. And we've been part of the development from the very beginning, and they are with us on this journey. Behind Nyanko Esports, there's a few important personalities. Obviously Patrick and myself, we are two of them, but there's also Thomas Schmidt, who is our main esport racer, let's say. He's been with us since day one, and he's done an awesome job also in helping us, find the right structure for our team, finding the right drivers for the championships we're competing in, and making sure that we have some expertise in the world of sim racing to count on, and he's doing an awesome job in that. So I'd say these are the three guys behind the steering wheel that are there since day one, but also in terms of organization. Yeah, it's now our second season in World EX, and the progress is there. We've been on the podium. We were qualified for the super final on the Nordschleife thanks to an awesome performance of Miklas. Thomas is also consistently up there. It's great to see. It's super challenging. The level is very high, and we are proud of the progress we're seeing. And for sure, we want to keep going higher and want to challenge for race wins regularly. That's our goal in the midterm, but it needs a bit of time. We're also busy with our real racing at the same time. So our esports guys, they're very focused on it. They're doing a great job, and now it's time to also build the pros up regularly. With Miklas, we have a great one. Myself, I would love to be in it a bit more regularly as well. And so we'll keep going from there, and so far all good. The decision on our driver for the super final in the 51 Nyanko Esports car is not taken yet, but we do have a pretty clear tendency of whom we'd like to see in there. Hopefully it won't be the only Nyanko car in the race. That would be awesome. And once everything is clear, we'll take our final decision on that.
It's amazing.
So cool.
Yeah,
Look at
he's such a smart guy. Absolutely. He's such a smart guy. To follow him and to listen to him. And as you can see in his eyes, he's totally into this idea of this game and of this club and of this competition and his colleagues and everything. And I guess I guess we're gonna follow now two guys who are absolutely also in that way. Absolutely. I guess I will start with my mate, with the guy from the island, from the Great Britain island, the voice of the German Touring Car Championship, the one and only. I'm really honored. I'm very pleased to have Mr. Dave Richardson on the microphone. You will have?
And I will have, of course, our chief and co-founder, Mike Rockenfeller. Hello, you two guys. Can you hear us?
Hello, Louisa.
Yes,
Hello,
okay.
Martin. Martin, what a delightful introduction. No one has ever been quite so polite about me, Mike, ever in their life. I feel somewhat humbled, as it were.
I try always to be very nice to you as well.
Yeah,
I think
you accepted. You accepted, of course.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, listening to Nico Müller, and of course, like you, Mike, I've known Nico for a lot of years, and Martin makes a very good point, as does Louisa. He's so articulate, and he's a PR dream in terms of being a racing driver because, of course, he sells the story so very well. And not only that, during qualifying, he had his legs on display, which would help someone like Louisa, I'm sure.
I think you are absolutely right. I think it was very interesting to listen to him, and I think the story of the qualifying is the slipstream, and they did it almost to perfection. Very cool to see 4 cars. And especially to listen to them, if somebody had the chance. They were speaking Swiss German, obviously, and as I'm living in Switzerland as well, I thought it was quite funny the way they set it all up and they communicated was very interesting. And Nico is a good friend of mine, and I have to say, awesome driver, and like you said, very professional. And I think he has still a great career ahead, also in real life.
Absolutely. And just so that I don't feel left out, just to let you know, I have literally just flown in from Zurich. Whilst I'm not Swiss, and I regret very much not living in Switzerland, because it affords much more opportunity than this sceptred isle does at the moment. But that's a political story that we're not going to get into here. We're all about the RCCO World EX Championship and Monza. Louisa and Martin painted a lovely picture because Monza is one of those iconic circuits, isn't it? 5.7 kilometers, 4 left-handers, 7 right-handers, and many opportunities in this wonderful machine that is from RCCO World EX to get to 300 kilometers per hour, Mike.
I think it's in real life, it's a great track. Like Nico said on the presentation, a lot of history, very traditional racetrack. Almost, let's say, no modern runoffs except parabolica and obviously the chicanes where you can go straight. But I would say every mistake hurts, definitely in lap time, but it also can end up in tears. I think with the EX0, it's a special challenge, like it is in real life. I've never driven a Formula One car in reality there, but many other race cars. I have been in a simulator for a current Formula One team doing Monza, and it's super tricky. And the EX0 feels almost the same. It's very light. You brake super late. You arrive with 350 kph. So it's great, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very challenging. And like we heard before, not only in quali but also in the race, slipstream will be crucial, and it's a track where you can have great overtaking and great racing.
Well, quarterfinal is on its way. We can take a look at the race format first of all with the RCCO World EX Championship, which has been such a stunning success story, and it really delivers not only great racing but great entertainment for us. After all, people like Mike might be racing drivers, people like me might talk about it, but ultimately we are all race fans, and it delivers and over-delivers in terms of entertainment value. So a 20-minute qualifying determines the starting grid for the 2 quarterfinals, one for the pro racing drivers, one for the esports racers. The best 5 drivers from each group proceed to the semi-final before the final 2-lap head-to-head shootout for the best pro racing driver and the best esports racer. All cars reaching at least one final will qualify for the super final at the Nürburgring Nordschleife on December the 13th. And quarterfinal 1 is on its way. And this is when it gets serious. And here is the grid. As you can see, Lasse Sorensen going from P1. Alongside is Bitzke doing very well indeed. Nico Müller, he has laid his cards on the table going from P3. Alongside is Nicholas Hillebrand. Then we see Martin Rump and Patrick Niederhauser ahead of Ellis Spietzer, Chris Overend and Sebastian Saavedra. Wow, this is going to be something very, very special indeed. We are only 10 seconds away, Mike.
Yeah, I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait. And what a great job by Lasse. You know, he had a little bit of a, let's say, a tough time. But last year we saw him. He was almost every event. He was good for a victory. And to be here on pole, I think it's great.
Well, he has made that pole position count already. This is always critical, isn't it? It's to dive to the inside so that you have that inside line going into the first chicane, the Variante de Retafio here in Monza. And, oh, there's a little touch on the back there, and I think that might have been Vosse that went around after that little tap, but has got it pointing in the right direction again. And Lasse Sørensen then is trying to escape up the road like a rat that has been stabbed, and he will head through the Curva Grande now, heading up towards the Variante della Roggia, then this chicane before, of course, the two Lesmos, turn 6 and turn 7, then being chased down by Rump and Wiese and Niederhauser and Spezia. Then it's Overend and Müller getting tagged as well. He's now P7 and Nicolas Hillebrand is P8. So, in my opinion, Lasse doing everything exactly right here and building himself something of a gap of comfort, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, that was crucial. But again, like I said before, it's a long race. And if he can increase that gap slightly, the others can't have the advantage of the slipstream. But we need to watch, obviously, not only the, let's say, top 3. We need to watch also what's going on in the background. And yeah, the first corner was not ideal. I don't know exactly if it was Nico. I think it was Nico who locked up a little bit and turned around one car, so let's see. But it's, like I said, it's far from over, and now the racing begins.
Hey, let's go on board here now. This is a brilliant shot, and as you can see, getting that benefit of that slipstream heading into the first chicane, and it really does make a difference heading in towards that first chicane now. Right, then left, and you can see how difficult it is to really scrub off the speed, but that's a brilliant textbook overtake there from Spezia. Really, really impressive on Patrick Niederhauser using the slipstream, but of course now Patrick Niederhauser is going to have the opportunity to come back here. This is the fight that's going on for P4 at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, and there, exactly as predicted, Patrick Niederhauser able to take advantage of the slipstream, and he goes into the second chicane, having reversed those positions. And this is what it can be like here at Monza, because that slipstream effect is so powerful. And Mike, how far away from the car behind you do you need to be to break any opportunity to get a slipstream benefit? Is it a second or more?
I think it's a little bit more. I think now definitely Lasse made that 2-second gap. I think there you are safe. I think around 1.2 seconds you probably have some benefit of it. And as we see, for him, it helps clearly that Bajtski and Rump, Bajtski, Wiese and Rump, they are fighting hard. So they lose a little bit of time, but they have a gap to Niederhauser, so they can afford to fight and enjoy the racing here in Monza. And there will be plenty of position changes, as we see here again. But if they are smart, they are in a good spot. You know, they just need to keep where they are, don't make mistakes, and keep position. That's important for them right now.
Exactly as you were telling it to us there, as Patrick Niederhauser, once again, there's a bit of a trading places going on here now. And Bajtski and Martin having got away a little bit from Patrick Niederhauser and the rest of the pack as we ride on board now with Spezia. Again, getting the benefit of the slipstream, but Patrick Niederhauser placing the car very well there, those sausage curbs that can really attack. And basically, Patrick Niederhauser doing a very good job in defence there, metaphorically sticking his elbows out and saying, no way, I am staying with this P5 position that I have now. And here you can see the battles are continuing wherever you are. And of course, Nico Müller in the thick of it as well, and Overend and Nicolas Hillebrand as well. So all the cars are having a real go here, but the impressive drive is coming from Lasse Sørensen, who has built something of a 2.5 second margin, 3 almost absolutely together here, and right in the mix there is Nico Müller. He's got Nicolas Hillebrand right on his gearbox, and there you can see taken to the runoff area to try and get some form of a not a slipstream, almost like a slingshot there. 3 abreast we go, absolutely wonderful, almost. Goodness me, and you are racing at such extraordinary speeds here at Monza as well, carry so much speed.
Exactly, I thought Chris Overend basically couldn't defend the position because Nico had a great slipstream, but he did, and he braked so late. And now we see 3 wide almost, 2 wide. Nico on the outside, he makes the move, very fair. And now he needs to hustle. He needs to run down that 1 second gap to Spezia, which I think he is, because they are close together. And for him, it's not over yet. I mean, it didn't look great after lap 1, but now he's in a good spot. He needs to get 1 more position.
Absolutely right. And we are on lap 4 of 6. There is Nico Müller, hard at work in the simulator then. And Nico Müller needs to be P5 so that he would go through. It's the top 5 that are going through, of course. So therefore, in the drop zone, Nico Müller, Chris Overend, Nicholas Hillebrand at the moment. We're watching the battle going on for this P5, P6 position. And as you can see, Ellis Spiezza doing a brilliant job here and has got a gap of about 7/10 on Nico Müller, which does mean, according to Mike Rockenfeller, that there is the potential there for Nico to get the advantage of the slipstream. Through the chicane they go, carrying so much speed in these wonderful EX0 cars. And then onto this straightaway, where you're running down the back of the paddock here at Monza before the very, very hard and fast right-hander, which of course is the Parabolica. Sorensen leading from Vosse, and then it's Rump, Niederhauser and Spezia, who at the moment is in that P5 position, but being chased extraordinarily hard by Nico Müller. Here he comes right now. So Nico Müller heading into the chicane then. Where can he place the car? He's going to dive for the inside here. King of the late breakers could win out here. Nico, discretion, the better part of valor, and just tucking in behind the Spezia car, and will go again as Spezia runs wide, and that hands it on a plate to Nico Müller. He was just cautious, patient, and almost provoked a mistake there, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, he lost a couple of positions at the beginning. Now it's still not over for him. He needs to watch his mirrors. He needs to be clean. Looks like Ellis Spezia has some issues there, but he's back on his, rear end. So, again, he won't give up. That is the hot seat. I mean, now Nico Müller on P5, that's the last seat, the last ticket. So let's see if he can make it. I mean, it's still a long way to go, right? We have still 2 laps, almost 1.5 to go.
You're absolutely right. 1.5 laps to go, and this is where the big fights are going on at the moment, and it's all over that final P5 position, which is utterly critical here. So we ride on board here with Ellis Spiezza then doing a great job and trying to hound Nico Müller, taking a look at the inside now, and again, discretion, the better part of valor, playing out there, because neither driver wants to end up in the wall, and it is really good, fair, but fraught fighting that's going on track at the moment. So here we go, another opportunity potentially going into the next chicane for Ellis. And Nico tries to block that inside line. Ellis, though, was absolutely determined to put his nose on the inside line, but Nico Müller is equally determined, and they are absolutely side by side. Don't rule Nicholas Hillebrand out of this either, because the more these two fight, Mike, it has allowed Nicholas Hillebrand to get back on to terms with them.
Yeah, that was super fair. I hope it stays like that. I hope they don't make a mistake. It's so easy to lock up. It's so easy to touch the other car, spin it around. That gives a little bit of breathing room for Nico. It looks like Alice had a little bit of an issue there in the second chicane, but that was awesome. And like you said, Hillebrand, he is, now losing the car, but he was, he will hit the wall. Yeah, he did on the gravel pad. That was, I mean, that's what it is, right? He had to give it all, not much to lose for him. And that's game over for him. But that's where the fight is now. We need to watch those two. That's it. Nico now is safe. Ellis was going in too deep into Ascari. Lost the car. What a shame, but great racing by him. I think big improvement from last time where he entered. So, I think he can be happy even though he doesn't make it.
No, but Lasse Sorensen does, Bitzke does, Rump does, Niederhauser does, and Nico Müller surely has done enough.
Good job.
Being chased and chased and chased. We can, of course, hear the drivers as they talk to each other following that, and a very, very entertaining quarterfinal with lots going on. And,
but you guys are too fast in front. Good practice, huh? Lots of practice.
All the battles that were going on behind. There is Lasse Sorensen, then victorious, of course. He is a gun driver. There's no question about that for TK9 E-Speed. Hugely, hugely talented
I'll give
driver,
you a wave.
no question.
Did you see?
There is Lasse Sorensen, but huge credit to Victories as well. Very, very good P2. So all happened at the start, of course, into the funnel, which is the first chicane, which is here at Monza, always something of a pinch point. And in the end, we have seen who has been victorious.
Yeah.
Lasse Sorensen with Danish Dynamite, then P1. So there the car parked up then in the TK9 E-Speed garage. Here, of course, tonight's event brought to you by NIANCO Esports and their team spaces. We get the results of the quarterfinal one. Lasse Sorensen taking the P1 position. Victories P2, Martin Rump P3. Then it was Patrick Niederhauser and Nico Müller. And they were ahead of Chris Overend, Ellis Pietze, and Nicholas Hellebrand. That's the way it looks then from quarterfinal one. Let's go back into our studio now and rejoin Martin and Louisa.
That's us too. Hi.
It looked a tiny little bit that everything was happening in the race down of place number 5.
Yeah.
In the front, everything was clear. Russell was far away. Beitske was far behind him, but far away from the rest of the world. And everything what happened really, and Alice did a brilliant job.
Yeah, he did. But I'm really happy for Nico because last time both Nico Müller and Lasse Sorensen had very bad luck because Lasse couldn't make it into the final because of a penalty, and then Nico Müller entered the final, the super final, but had contact with Luca Kita and he almost won the race. So Monza is a special track for both of them, and they are both in the semi-final now. So
everything's fine.
Yeah, cool, very cool. So
the evening starts perfect.
Yeah.
Just what Dave said. It was a brilliant first quarterfinal. Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely.
Very cool racing and excited how it will go on. So, but before we come to quarterfinal 2. Let's hear about Nico Müller again and about him and his team driving the X0 in this championship.
Yeah, we're now in our second season in World EX and the level is super high. You know, it's very challenging to be consistently at the front, be it on the esports corner, but also the pro racers. You know, they're putting a lot of effort in it, and it's very tough to be at the front consistently. But yeah, we've managed to be already one of the qualified cars for the super final on the Nordschleife, thanks to an awesome performance of our youngster Miklas Born. Thomas is doing an awesome job. He's regularly up there on the esports side. You know, we have very exciting guys with Freddie Oixter as well, and now it's up to myself and Patrick as well, you know, to find the time to be a part of the races a bit more regularly and prove that we can also do that. But it needs time, you know. You need to prepare, you need to get to grips. You know, with the EX0, it's a very challenging car, but super exciting, and we're loving the journey. There is several factors that are making World EX extremely challenging. The main one is probably the car. You know, the EX0 is extremely powerful. It's very exciting to drive at the limit, and then, you know, the setups, they change weekend to weekend. Obviously the teams, they decide what setup they go for, so you have to be very adaptive. Every race is a new challenge. The format is very unforgiving, and if you want to win there, man, you need to nail it. You cannot afford to make any small mistake, and that's why we love it. Driving the X0 is, playing on the knife edge. You have to really push it to the limit, but if you go slightly above, you pay a big penalty. It's easy to ask too much of the tires, to overheat them, and then you pay the price later on. So, it's really, a game at the absolute limit, and you have to be on top of it. The nicknames of our two EX0 cars, Stögu and Santis, they are coming from our two local mountains. One is mine and Patrick's, which is the Stockhorn, as in Swiss German, let's say the short version is Stögu. And, we're really connected to our home regions. We love spending time here and training outside, and that's why I thought the name of our home mountain would be a good fit. And that's the same for the other car, which Thomas Schmid is mainly competing in. And, you know, he's from another region in Switzerland where the Santis is his main mountain, and that's why we came up with those two names. I didn't actually talk to them yet, but definitely I think it could be something very exciting. They have proven that they can build very, innovative real life cars, race cars. So I guess they would probably very much like the X0 and the concept around it, and who knows what the future brings.
So there we can see the Volta car from WRT then, and very interesting as always to hear from Nico Müller, who of course is, very much looking forward to the next chapter in his career. Let's take a look at the grid then for our next quarterfinal. Devin Braune and Julian Amann. They are side by side, P1 and P2. Then it's Martin Stefanko and Freddie Eugster. Alan Terzic and Timea Benchik. Welcome, Timea. Then it's Zai-Fai Lee, Oscar Kristensen, Efkan Berkier, and Dev Gore then. This, of course, is for the esports quarterfinal. Very much looking forward to this. And NIANCO Esports with a very good opportunity here with Julian Amann going from P2. But we know just how good Devin Braune is. It's a fine lineup of esports racers to do battle here at the Monza circuit, as I mentioned earlier on in the program. 5.793 kilometers. And we've seen in quarterfinal 1 just how quick it is. 4 left-hand turns, 7 right-hand turns. Myself and Mike Rockenfeller then are in the privileged position of being able to bring you the action. And with just 20 seconds remaining before we hear the klaxons, there indeed is our pole sitter, Devin Braune. And there you can see, welcome back.
Keep it luck.
Nice to see you.
And have fun and don't crash in turn 1. Yes. Yeah, have fun, guys.
Lots of conversations going on just ahead of the start of the race. Great camaraderie. Crash helmets virtually go on now, though, and all the friendships stop. Let's go racing. Quarterfinal 2. And we're underway with a very good start from Devin Braune. He got the best of Amann then, and Devin Braune, I predict, will dive to the inside to protect that inside line going on to the chicane, but just take a look at the Freddie Eugster car trying to dive up to the inside as well. So lots going on here already in the opening stages of this. Through the chicane, and the first chicane very, very well. Curva Grande is where we're at now. It's turn number 3, carrying as much speed as possible into the next chicane, which is turns 4 and 5. Good clean start, Mike Rockenfeller. All the cars getting away very nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I can't ask for more than that as a driver, I think, and as a fan, because that's super difficult. We saw it in the race before. It's easy to lock the brakes, especially after the start with cold tires, create an incident. But they have done a brilliant job. That's what we want to see. So chapeau to all those drivers out here now. Great job. And again, we are ready for great racing here.
Julian Amann just taking a look at the inside of Devin Braune, then going into that chicane. So this is far from over yet. Now here we go onto the back straight behind the paddock here at Monza. And you can see there, Devin Braune, he's weaving from side to side. And basically what he's trying to do there is break any toe effect, any slipstream advantage that Amann can get. And Amann then taking a completely different line going into the Parabolica there. But I am always told that actually it's your exit from Parabolica, and again you can see Devin Braune weaving there, and that is just basically he's trying to break the benefit of the slipstream, as now Amann dives to the outside of Devin Braune. So that will give Julian Amann the inside line, but Devin Braune had just got his nose in front. Side by side they go. There's almost a touch, but not quite between the two of them. I have to say, between these three, and we've not mentioned Martin Stefanko yet, but of course he is there in P3, and he's just waiting to pick up the pieces of these two battles that are going on, almost threading himself like a needle through the middle of the two of them. It is still Devin Braune. It's brilliant defensive driving, Mike. It's very fair, though.
Very, very fair. And Stefanko is smart enough. I mean, he's a true champion, as we know. And yeah, he's just watching the battle, you know, waiting for his opportunity, watching his mirrors, because again, they have a little bit of a gap to Terzic, who is trying, you know, to close that gap and stay with this train in the front. But he needs to defend himself against Freddie Eugster. So Nyanko, so far, brilliant. I mean, the first two cars made it in the quarterfinal 1, and now, you know, two cars again so far are in the top 5 in this race.
Here we go. On board then, we were just very briefly with Julian Amann, but Devin Braune doing a very, very good job there. And here comes Julian Amann once again. But of course, Devin Braune has got the advantage of the inside line, perhaps. But Martin Stefanko can do really well here, Mike. Sorry.
Exactly. That's you just said it. Look at him. He's in the middle. He went through.
absolutely brilliant opportunistic driving from Martin Stefanko, who did exactly as what Mike Rockenfeller was intimating he should do, and that is basically just be patient. It must go against almost every gene that you have as a racing driver to be patient, but that's exactly what Martin Stefanko did. Now Devin Braune has got an altogether different battle with a different car, and after a couple of turns, Martin Stefanko has put himself into that P1 position. Devin Braune now is P2, and quietly, but stealth-like, Alan Terzic has moved up into P3, Mike.
Exactly, and you know that's the point. I mean, for me, Aman made one mistake. It was in the Parabolica. He was doing a brilliant job until then, but basically he went out of the slipstream too early, which then made him side by side for the whole straightaway to Devin Braune, and Stefanko just had a massive slipstream from two cars, which he took advantage of, and now I think Aman went off in the second chicane, so he has a little bit of an issue on the car. He hit the barrier. I don't know if he's still quick enough to make it through.
Well, he's currently in P5. Let's see if he holds on to that. But these three now are virtually welded together, and it could go any way with these three. You can see what two cars almost look like one. They are so close, and that is Devin Braune right on the gearbox of Martin Stefanko. And Alan Terzic in there as well, having to use opposite lock to control the car. But he does so, heads towards the Curva Grande right now, turn number 3, where you carry so much speed here. Going into the second chicane, the Della Rosia chicane. It's turns 4 and 5. And the order is Martin Stefanko from Devin Braune and Alan Terzic. We're on lap 4 of 6. Don't know where the first 4 laps have gone. My goodness me, there's been so much going on. And don't rule Freddie Oyster out of this either, because he's sitting there in P4 watching this all go on ahead of him, but he could still get on terms with these three. And just as I say that, like I know what I'm talking about, yeah, right, he does get a little bit closer. So this is really, really interesting. We're riding on board now with Freddie Oyster, who is getting closer, and he could very much become involved in this battle for the podium. The virtual podium, of course, P1, P2, P3, as we stay on board with him now, running down this extraordinary straight off the back of the Ascari chicane and into the Curva Parabolica, which is an extraordinary turn where you do just carry so much speed, but your positioning is absolutely crucial for this start-finish straight, which is where we find the cars now. And as they cross the timing line, it is Stefanko from Braune, from Terzic, from Freddie Oyster, but it all could change going into the first chicane. And as you can see, almost 3 abreast there as they go side by side with Martin Stefanko down near. And it is still, as we were, Stefanko from Braune and Terzic. But any which way but loose, this could change in the space of just a millisecond and a meter or so of tarmac. Here comes Braune then to the outside, looking back now at the car of Alan Terzic and Freddie Oyster right on them there, and that looked like a mistake, and that has played into the hands, potentially, of Devin Braune. So Martin Stefanko, I think, with a small error there, which means now Devin Braune P1, Alan Terzic P2, and Martin Stefanko P3, and Freddie Oyster. Has he left it a bit late to get involved in this battle? We are on lap 5 of 6, Mike.
It's unbelievable. Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's the world-class driving right there. One of the, top races, in my opinion. So difficult. I tell you, it's so difficult to be so close together. And look what they do here. I mean, those 4, they will battle it out. Still 1 and a bit lap to go. And you have no idea, no clue who's going to be the winner. I really love it. And I can't wait now for the final lap.
Credit to all of our drivers. And I have to say big credit to Julian Armand as well, because as Mike picked up, it caused some damage to his car, but he's still able to hold on to that P5 position, which of course will see him going through. So big braking then through this first chicane. And I described it as something like a funnel, which is precisely what it is, with Alan Terzic now leading from Devin Braune and Martin Stefanko with Freddie Oyster P4 and Julian Armand P5, Oscar Kristensen getting by Benchik. But then, side by side into the chicane, the cars go. Rubbing just a little bit of paint between them. Do you know what? Don't care about that. We like to see that. I think the fight...
Made it out the other end. Yep.
This has been a brilliant race. Absolutely
brilliant.
No.
Are you
Oh,
insane?
sorry, I didn't mean to shoulder check you.
I'm alive. What
the
hell? Oi, 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 oi. Oi, oi.
Oh!
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
What the hell was that?
A curb.
Yeah, that was a curb.
Oh, Martin.
I had nowhere to go.
Oh, I think they are lucky. They are
you were
all
next to me?
very lucky.
Oh, my.
Julian Ilodi naar voren.
Look at it. Oh, what a
Devin
move.
Braune!
What a move.
My goodness me! Trying to go all the way around the
That was fun.
outside!
Oh, maybe you can
What?
still get it.
Nah, I
Goodness
don't think
me!
so. Ah, crap.
That was
It's
fun.
a drag race
It was great.
for the cash! Whoa!
What happened, Martin? You hit that curb or what?
Moet je naar box varen,
Yeah, I had nowhere to go.
Rocket box.
We did.
Ah,
I had to. I
have-
had nowhere else to go.
Oh man. I didn't see you were actually next to us.
Yeah, I was right next to you.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see there was overlap. It looked like you were just behind trying to pull out or something.
Uh,
Oh man. I'm so sorry.
well, I finished fifth, so
oh, you're still
at
in.
least you're still
Good.
yeah, I'm still in. Barely.
You pulled in Alonso. First you took off, then you made it anyway.
Yeah.
Wait, does that make me Lance Stroll?
Yes.
No, don't do that. You don't want to be Lance Stroll. Come on.
Whoa. I have to say, my hat is taken off firmly to all these drivers.
Oh my
Mike.
god.
No,
By the way,
I didn't expect to go like airborne. What the hell? Like I went completely airborne.
You know, the thing is, I wanted to overtake Alan into his carry, but then I saw you in the mirror and I couldn't focus anymore, so I just pulled out again.
Oh, I need a drink very quickly because that was one of the most compelling races. Here is the result of quarterfinal 2. And honestly, it could have gone anyway. Alan Terzic, though, for BS Plus competition, taking the win from Devin Braune for the esports team WRT. Julian Arman for Nyanko Esports, inherits P3. Freddie Oyster P4 and Martin Stefanko, by the skin of everything, gets through into P5 following that high-speed incident. We lose Oscar Kristensen, Timmy Benchik, Efkan Berkier, Ziv Zaifai Lee, and Dev Gore. Truthfully, I am going for a lie down. Help me out here, Louisa and Martin, please.
I'm not sure we could.
That was unbelievable. In the first quarterfinal, was everything behind place number 5, and here was everything in front of place number 5. Absolutely a 360 in full speed.
Yes, everything.
Gosh, and still inside the top 5, everything's fine.
It's such a magical event in
That
Monza,
was, for
right?
me personally, probably the most impressive quarterfinal I ever saw on this track here, on these race series. Absolutely amazing.
Because
Absolutely.
it always happens something unexpected.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
you will get surprised again and again.
Third one, fourth one, you me, all are back in the fight.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I guess.
Yeah, but as breathtaking as these races are, we are not only here for the racing. World EX still has their green mission of sustainability. So let's hear from the Nyanko drivers what they are doing in these terms.
Yeah, when we are not in a simulator or out in a race car, we love spending time out in nature, training and being active. And we were very lucky to be, in the region where we're at with really amazing landscape and pretty much endless opportunities to, have an awesome time outdoors. And that's why I think it's very, very important to give something back and, to make sure we're taking care of our planet. And I think the general message that World EX is taking along its own journey is super important, and we're very happy to contribute a little bit to all of that. In my personal life, I just try to pay attention in everyday life on, the footprint I'm leaving behind. That goes from not eating too much meat to, making sure I don't produce too much waste wherever I can. I just try to limit that. In daily life, I try to not be traveling too much by car if possible. I love riding my bike, so if I can go to the shop by bike to buy my groceries, I will do that. It's the little things, you know, that can make a difference if we all start to be, you know, more aware about our daily actions, and that's what I'm trying to do at home as well.
You have to do like some small things that really matters, because when you just do recycle everything, and also like myself, I don't just throw things away if something is broken. I always try to repair it and make it working again, and like that you can save a lot of resources and also some money. So I think it's the small things which in the end can make a big thing.
So we are heading for the next, which is the semi-final, of course. Great to hear from Nico and Thomas there. What was really nice about that was Thomas saying, actually, do you know what? When something is broken, try and repair it rather than just replace it with something new, which is absolutely the right attitude to have. So, yes, it saves resources and, of course, saves money as well. It's what the World EX Championship actually is all about in terms of sending that message. Okay, here is the grid then. Lasse Sorensen going from P1. Alongside is going to be Alan Terzic, P2. That's going to be very interesting into that chicane. Bijtske P3, P4, Devin Braune, Martin Rump and Julian Armand, then they're P5 and P6 ahead of Patrick Niederhauser and Freddie Oigster. And then it's Nico Müller and Martin Stefanko, of course. The top two going through. Let's see how we do. We are but 12 seconds away from the starting klaxon of this, our semi-final. 5 laps of hot rock to come from the Monza circuit, the Temple of Speed then. We saw Lasse Sorensen and Alan Terzic. Here we go. So good start from both those on the front row of the grid. Lasse Sorensen immediately making sure that he can protect that inside line. Keep your eyes on Bijtske. Keep your eyes also on Devin Braune. So, and there's a mistake going into that chicane, and that has dropped. And there we can see the cars now heading for the Curva Grande for the first time of asking with Lasse Sorensen. I don't know whether he made a mistake there, Michael, whether there was a problem, but he lost 2 places. He looked like he was almost standing still through Curva Grande there.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. That was a bit weird. I would love to see that again. But anyway, he needs to keep his rhythm. He's P3, so everything possible. He's still the best pro. But as we saw before, it's far from over. It's just, it's just half a lap. Half a lap is done. And we will see a lot more action here.
So the best of the esports drivers, the best of the pro drivers, those that are going through, and Lasse Sorensen is still the best of the pro drivers. Best esport driver at the moment is Alan Terzic running in P1. Devin Braune is chasing him hard though, and Lasse Sorensen is also beginning to put the pressure on Alan Terzic now. So whatever happened going through the turn number 3 has got it all sorted out now into the Parabolica for the first time of asking in this 5-lap semi-final that we're enjoying with the RCCO World EX Championship. We're riding on board with Lasse Sorensen right now. So Lasse Sorensen then really trying to get the draft off the Devin Braune car. Devin Braune to the inside of Alan Terzic now. And king of the late breakers, Devin Braune then really did outbrake Alan Terzic going into that turn. So that means that it's now Devin Braune is the best of the esports racers. Alan Terzic relegated to P2. Then it's Lasse Sorensen, Bijtske Nico Müller, Patrick Niederhauser, Martin Rump, Freddie Oigster, Martin Stefanko, and Julian Armand. That's the way that they are looking at the moment. The fastest lap early on came from Alan Terzic, and he's going to need all the speed that he can possibly muster to try and take the fight to Devin Braune once again. However, Braune seems to be just breaking away a little bit here. Is Alan Terzic just trying to lull him into a false sense of security? We're riding on board with Lasse Sorensen, who, of course, Mike, does not need to attack too hard. And just sometimes, again, it's back to this. When you're a racing driver, you've sometimes just got to be patient and be sensible, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. And those three, again, they know exactly what they do. They are on top of their game. We see in the background the battle between Nico Müller and Bijtske. He just passed her. So he's in the hunt with her as well. But those three, if they don't fight, if they don't change positions all the time, then it's hard for them now to catch because they have an awesome speed and they have a two seconds gap or something. So Nico needs to really hustle with Beitske together almost, and those three need to keep fighting. As we see here, they do.
Yes, absolutely. They could work together, couldn't they? And both benefit from that. And now Alan Terzic, as you can see, has made his way past Devin Braune. And we're on board with Lasse Sorensen here. Now, what would be absolutely right handy for the leading car at the moment of Alan Terzic is for Devin Braune to really be held up by Lasse Sorensen. If he can encourage almost a fight to go on between Devin Braune and Lasse Sorensen, of course, that just advantages Alan Terzic no end, because the more those two are fighting behind, he's able to escape up the road. It's only 3/10 between P1 and P2 at the moment, and we're riding on board with Lasse Sorensen. Nico Müller then has got some time to catch up, and of course we've got one lap less in this semi-final. So you can see that he and Beitske Visser are within shot and within sight. But we are on lap 3 of 5 as we stay on board with Lasse Sorensen here. Running in P3, he is the best pro driver, the best esports driver is Alan Terzic. And then stuck right in the middle betwixt the two is Devin Braune, esports racer of extraordinary repute. And he has got to try. And I just wonder whether he's going to leave it to the last opportunity so that Alan Terzic cannot come back at him if he is able to overtake him. What do I know? Here he goes, diving to the inside, and he's going for it right now. And again, he's really, really good on the brakes, Mike.
Oh, yeah, he is. I mean, they all are. I think Lasse is watching it. He's enjoying it. He's enjoying the battle. He's a little bit out of it because he has a gap to Nico, who is his main rival now. He's the second best pro driver. So Nico, unfortunately, there's a gap for him to Lasse. And Lasse will just hope those two do a clean race, or even if they take each other out, he doesn't care. He just needs to be in the position he is.
You are absolutely right, called so correctly. So it is Devin Braune from Alan Terzic, then it's Lasse Sorensen, Nico Müller and Beitske Visser trying to catch them, but we are on lap 4 of 5. Then it's Freddie Oyster, Patrick Niederhauser, Martin Rump, Martin Stefanko and Julian Armand. And on board with Lasse Sorensen then, who is just driving this oh so well, in my opinion, because he needs not fight with that car ahead of him. Here is Nico Müller and Beitske Visser then. They are currently running on track P4 and P5, both pro drivers, of course. And here, once again, we go back on board with Lasse Sorensen. And it's Lasse Sorensen that Nico Müller and Beitske Visser need to get close to. But they're running out of time here because the top three are running at such an incredible pace, Mike.
100%, but those two in the front, obviously, that's what counts now. It's Devin Braune and Terzic. The one who is in front of those two will make it to the final tonight, and now into the last lap. I mean, it's such a strategic game as well for those two. They have been battling in the semi-final and now, in the quarterfinal, and now I want to see who does what and who wants to be
if we would have seen what just happened right now.
We have a replay.
We're hearing them on team radio then as they are absolutely battling like never before. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Braune or is it going to be Terzic? We are running out of lap.
Yes, and we didn't see it, but Beitske Visser overtook Nico Müller again, as we see in the background there.
Yes.
Great job by Beitske. I have to say many times, I said it already, she is unbelievable the way she drives.
A great racer.
So close. Yeah, great racer.
And just as you were extolling the virtues of Beitske Visser, so Alan Terzic made his way past Devin Braune. And now, strategically, that could have been a mistake because Devin Braune, is he going to have the last lap, last chance saloon? He's into the Parabolica now. Who is going to be the best of these drivers then? Devin Braune carrying so much speed around the Parabolica, heading towards the checkered flag. Here comes Alan Terzic. A drag race to the timing line then. Who is it going to be? I think it's going to be Terzic. Wow. I think.
I don't know, but it looked to me the same, but on the timing it says it's Braune. So maybe I think the timing line is a bit earlier than what we saw, the starting line.
Maybe.
It must be, because like you said, what a race. What a race to the finish.
Absolutely brilliant. You and me getting too excited once again, and our camera angle relative to where the timing line was, it was Devin Braune that sealed it from Alan Terzic by literally the width of a cigarette paper. Lasse Sørensen, the best of the pro drivers, ahead of Beitske Visse, who did get by Nico Müller. Then it was Freddie Oyster, Martin Rump, Julian Amann, Patrick Niederhauser and Martin Stefanko. Another stunning race. Semi-final.
Oh man, nearly hit, I think, Nico. I barely missed him.
But otherwise, you had it. It was a shake and bake. You know, you got the most dough and you had the position.
I mean, I tried.
I mean, this finish, Dave, reminds me a bit. I don't know who of you has.
I mean, that was good fun. I mean, it's P10, but.
How many go forward now?
I think the final now.
Just two.
The final now.
So 2, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I would have sent it harder if I knew that.
Yeah.
That's a low IQ move.
That's very low IQ.
Lasse was just chilling behind us, knowing that he's just gonna.
I was just waiting to see who's gonna win the race.
Devin,
right.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
I think we were lucky to avoid a pile-up at some point. I think Martin hit. Did you hit me in turn 1 at like lap 3? Or?
You mean from the back? Or are you talking?
Right. Hopefully now, Devin Braune we've got his full attention. I have to say, Devin, you have given us so much entertainment. From a strategic point of view, you nailed that, friend.
Thanks. I think everyone was trying the same thing, though. So at the end of the day, it just came down to who got it right in the final corner. Well, or Ascari in this case. Well, I got it right, apparently. I was a bit lucky, though. So, yep, I'm happy with that.
Well, both Mike and I, as we called it, it looked like, because the timing line was obviously a little bit further back on the straight than we were looking at, the line we were looking at, you know, it looked like Alan had just shaded it, but actually, no, it was you that did it, and many congratulations, and thank you for giving us such a fantastic race. It was really impressive. Really impressive. Mike, I know you will agree with me.
100%. It reminded me a little bit on, I don't know who of you knows the movie Cars with Lightning McQueen, and there was one finish where they were like 3 wide and the tongue was out. I know it from my kids, and I think if somebody of those cars, if somebody had a tongue to put out, they all would have done it, and it looked like Devin did the best job, and an awesome finish there. Great racing.
Yes, well done to you. Well done to you all. So Devin Braune, that we were able to check in with there, and we were hoping to be able to speak to Alan, but I don't think we can. And there is the WRT Volta car. Oh, wow, what a semi-final! And here's confirmation of the result of the semi-final. Then Devin Braune takes it in terms of esports drivers for the esports team WRT, just shading Alan Terzic for BS Plus competition. And of course, Lasse Sørensen for TK9 E-Speed. Then the dominance of Lasse Sørensen, he goes through as the best of the pro drivers. We should also, a big mention to Beitske Visse, who was driving really, really well. Nico Müller, P5, Freddie Oyster, P6, Martin Rump, Julian Amann, Patrick Niederhauser, and Martin Stefanko, rounding out the 10 finishers in that semi-final. And that's something critical, in my opinion, to mention. 10 finishers, because the racing very, very clean and tidy. No retirements through damage to cars. And that's exactly what we want to see. So once again, we look at the WRT Volta car then, and Devin Braune having done a brilliant job indeed. So having seen the final results, let's check in once again then with our hosts, Martin and Louisa.
Just one interesting question stays still in the room. Are you the big fan of cars or your kids? It looks a tiny little bit that you are the big fan of cars.
I am.
Who's not?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but it was a bit more into the basic, this final now, this semi-final. The quarterfinals was like rumbling in a football stadium.
Yeah. And now back to the basics.
And now back to the basics. Real racing, amazing racing and everything. And I'm really, really looking forward to... Was it Maastricht where we had Lasse and Devin together, or was it America? Was it United States? I guess it was the United States where we had the same final with Lasse and Devin.
Yeah,
I'm
not really sure. But let's ask the chat. Maybe the chat will help us out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. Like Ellen Terzic appeared suddenly again.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, I'm here too. It's really cool. It was really, really cool. So it's Monza. Everything can happen, and everything happens. And yeah, you're right. In the beginning, it was like, okay, I wouldn't have expected this. I really didn't.
And another thing happened for me personally. I guess we have to change the word slipstream into Monza stream.
Monza stream, not wind shadow.
I guess, does this track exist without slipstream? I
No.
don't think so.
Yeah,
it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So it will be really, really interesting to see these two guys at the final, and we will see what's going on in a few seconds with the final with these two cars. And yeah, I guess it was America where we had this final too.
Yeah, it's interesting. So,
and in the
Danish
moment, I
Dynamite,
can't say anything. I wouldn't say
no.
There's
really
one driver
couldn't.
who's really in front of the other one.
Yeah.
And I guess they're absolutely strong, and we will see what's happening in the first corner. In the let me take a look at the Variante del Figlio, and we will see what's going on there. And I guess it will be very, very interesting.
Yeah,
But,
I think we will pull each other's hairs out again. So stunning, so breathtaking. Both such great drivers, and I think maybe it's the Sørensen time again. Maybe he came back now. Maybe he strikes back.
Just what you said.
He's striking back.
Probably he's coming back now in the end of the season. A tiny bit more into the end of the season.
I think he still is. He already is in the Super final, so he has nothing to lose. Really, but it's the ego and the honor, and of course he deserves a win.
To say I won the race of the World EX RCCO World EX in Monza, well, it's you can nail it on the wall. So, well, this is my prize.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It will be an interesting race, of course, and we will see what's going on. I didn't saw the time so far. I wasn't that sure which one was faster. Which semi-final?
Okay, yeah, we will see. So then let's take back over to Dave and Mike, right?
Yes, the final.
Then, who are lining up, as you can see, Devin Braune and Lasse Sørensen then. It is a two-lap shootout, and we are but 20 seconds away from this shootout happening. There is Devin Braune, final stages of preparation. There is Lasse Sørensen. And as Martin and Louisa have said, they are both racing drivers, and whether they're qualified for the super final on the Nordschleife or not, they want to win here in Monza. It's surely all going to be about strategy. Who is going to take the slipstream last? Stand by, we're about to go racing. So Devin Braune then out of the blocks. First of all, Lasse Sørensen on the inside line, but looks like he's giving plenty of racing room to Devin Braune as they head into the chicane for the first time of asking. But then under braking, Lasse Sørensen gets a little bit closer. Of course, he needs to stay within touch of the Devin Braune car to get any advantage of the slipstream that we've all been talking about. And sure enough, he does that immediately through the third turn and dives to the inside. Of course, Devin Braune is still going to have the inside line going into the chicane, but Lasse Sørensen has done it. Textbook move there off the back of the first chicane, lining up a move into the second chicane, Mike.
Very good. Then you saw there was a little bit of a kiss between the two. Devin immediately said sorry. I mean, you see how quick it goes, but that is a super close battle. And the race before, we saw Lasse, how calm he was. He had pole position tonight. Now we hear the lifting of Devin. He's lining it up again. So now Lasse will think, hey, how do I do that? Where do I want to be? Do I want to be in the lead right now? He knows that Devin is super strong this year. So that is a mental game now. As you see again here, Devin is not even trying. He's just lifting coast, save some energy, save some tires, and now we go into the last lap.
You are absolutely right. That's exactly what's happening here. Devin Braune is biding his time. Lasse Sørensen
mega run there.
Leaving, trying to break that toe. Here comes Devin Braune. Into the first chicane then for the last time in this final here at Monza. Lasse Sørensen full of focus and concentration, trying to build a margin between himself and Devin Braune, but Devin Braune is oh so quick here. Around this turn, you can see Lasse Sørensen sticking his elbows out there. Devin Braune not able to make a move going into the chicane. Is it all going to come to the final straight? And, of course, that run around the Parabolica. Who's it going to be? They are so close. There is but tenths between P1 and P2. Lasse Sørensen at the moment doing a very good job, but defending is sometimes even harder than attacking. And it's Devin Braune who will be doing the attacking. Lasse Sørensen who will have to be doing the defending. So...
Oh, mistake! 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 But... Oh, no, that's it.
Yeah, Dirty Air was too strong there.
That's got to be critical, hasn't it? That has probably done for him. Yeah. Well, Devin Braune then, he was playing the strategic game, and when you're going to play the strategic game, everything has got to be right. Lasse Sørensen heads towards the checkered flag, and Lasse Sørensen will be victorious from Devin Braune, who takes P2, and just that one tiny mistake, Mike, was enough that did it for Devin Braune.
Yeah, I mean, Lesmo 2, he already had an understeer because of Dirty Air. And the same in Ascari. He just went in too deep. He wanted to position himself, but let's hear what they say.
Yeah, what do we say?
Can you hear us?
What do we say?
No, I mean, basically spot on, really. I tried to cheese it again, like with Alan. It didn't work. Note to self, when you have 20 kilometers over speed, and Dirty Air, don't try to make it a irregular braking point. It doesn't work.
Devin, we respect your honesty. That's wonderful. And well done to you for delivering us some great racing for us tonight. And Lasse Sørensen, cool as a cucumber as always, when you need to be determined. And I said, just as you came out of the final chicane onto the start-finish straight, sometimes it's harder to defend than attack. And you proved that you're king of defending as well, although he did help you with a slight mistake.
Yeah, I mean, last time I tried to stay behind until the last lap, and it didn't really work out. So now I was just thinking about just going in the front and then see what happens. I mean, when you're in the front, you kind of just have to do no mistakes and wait for the car behind to do a mistake. And luckily that happened. So super happy for the win. Finally back again and at the top step, if you can say it like that. So that's really awesome.
Lasse Sørensen is back in the game, and well done to you, and well done to Devin Braune as well. Absolutely phenomenal final that you have given us, indeed. And there we can see Danish Dynamite in the TK9 E-Speed, and this is what we like to see. Plenty of donuts. Come on, let's entertain. And that was a really nice piece of work there. Really like this. It's one of the few things I can do in rental cars, you know, Mike. Best with mentioning that too much.
I hope I never get a rental car after you had it before, Dave.
I will send a picture to all the rental car companies with you on it, Dave. Honestly. Yes. Beware of this man.
Yes. My mouth really needs to know when to close, and unfortunately it doesn't. Its glittering career has come tumbling down.
By the two.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed that. And I have to say, I love to see that because it's what it's all about. We, of course, have a very, very serious climate message, but of course, we want to entertain as well. And these two drivers have done that as well as all of our drivers tonight. Lasse Sørensen is victorious, though, for TK9 E-Speed. And I have to say, Mike, as one of the founders with Thomas Vogt, you must be very proud of what everyone has done tonight in this wonderful RCCO World EX Championship.
I am, and especially about the drivers, I have to say, because, you know, before they race, you always hope that they drive clean. You always hope that they behave, but it's so easy not to. But it's so important to put on a good show, to respect each other. Like in the real racing, it's exactly the same. We saw it just in the Formula One race again this weekend. You know, you can have clean battles if you give each other room. And they did tonight again, one more time, like many, many other times. And I'm just very happy to see those races. And I enjoy watching and talking with you through the racing.
But,
I have to say,
but to be honest, I didn't expect it, that kind of real, massively wonderful racing in Monza. I expected it on probably any other track, but I didn't expect it in Monza.
Ask me next time, and I tell you.
Okay, I will do that. I will notice that.
So in when you compare to last time,
yeah.
Last time it was just so many crashes, so many bumpy races and now it was like pretty smooth. I mean, we had some crashes, but it was compared with last time.
And we had a brilliant 360 of Martin Stefanko.
Yeah.
That was absolutely amazing. Well done, Martin. Well, with this first name, it's easy to have a easy 360. Of course.
Well, you'll be pleased to hear as I head off to Imola in literally in about 8 hours' time. I have a chauffeur picking me up at the airport, so there's no rental car. I'm not in trouble yet. And, Mike, Martin, Louisa, as always, great to be on the air with you. But big thanks to the production team and also to all our drivers who have over-delivered in terms of entertainment tonight.
Have a safe trip.
Thank you, Louisa and Martin.
Looking forward to hear and see you next time, of course.
Yes.
The race result for the race number 7 at the Monza circuit. Lasse Sørensen won ahead of Devin Braune, third, so on the podium, Alan Terzic. Bijtske Visser, brilliant result for her, the lady from the Netherlands on 4. Nico Müller, in the end of the day, just 5, but 5. Freddie Oikster, his Swiss companion, on 6th position. Martin Rump on 7th position. Julian Amann, brilliant result for Nyanko Esports, together with Patrick Nienhäuser on 9. So all in the top 10. All 4 cars in the top 10. Brilliant result for Nyanko Esports. And Martin Stefanko, the guy with the wonderful first name, competing in place number 10.
Yes, and we still have Walter on P1 in the championship. He's still leading after this final. Then we have Danish Dynamite on P2, Zebrellen on P3, Vero 88 on P4, Zebra Kira on P5. Cool. Williams Esports on P6, Vero 8 on P7, Huang Ji on 8th, Sentis and Stögo 9 and 10th. So cool.
Lasse, once again, Danish Dynamite, you rocked it today. You were fucking really cool, really relaxed. Is that a Danish thing, winning at Monza in this style?
I don't know if it's a Danish thing. I mean, I just try to be as calm as possible every time I race. So I think the more nervous you are, the more mistakes you do. So I just try to keep calm and do my best. I mean, if you do your best job, you cannot do any more. Do more. So yeah, that's just what I'm trying to do.
It's not the first victory in the RCCO World EX Championship. Is it probably one of the best ones? Winning at Monza?
I think I had some great ones in the past as well. I think this is just. It's always amazing to win. So yeah, definitely, it's great to be back, and I think it has been a long time since I've won a race in RCCO. So yeah, awesome to be back on the top step, and hopefully we can keep the momentum going for the next round. So I'll do my best at least.
Lasse, have a wonderful evening, rest of the evening in Denmark, and congratulations to this absolutely famous victory. And we're going to see us next time at the 22nd of November at Indy.
Yeah, in Indianapolis. Looking forward to that.
Yes, looking forward to that. Absolutely. It will be, I guess it will be also very, very, very interesting. This one was my best race so far. Absolutely.
Your best race? You didn't race anything tonight, but I know what you mean. Yeah, it was Martin's best race. Next time in November we race in Indianapolis, and RIG Esports will host that event. So I'm really looking forward to that. Together with Romain Grosjean and so on, will be really cool. And until then, follow us on the social media under us at RCCO World EX and join the conversation. Use the hashtag World EX and be up to date about the latest news in our world of sim racing. So I have no words to say anymore for today, except that I'm really, really sweaty and tired because of the breathtaking races here.
Have a safe trip back home. Have a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen, and take care. And we're going to see us in November in Indianapolis. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.